Ladies and gentlemen, back here from CPKC Stadium for the final game in match day 3. We finally have a finalist, and they are the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs. They ended up ousting BYU in a close game 2-1 after being down 1-0 early in the first half. Now, here in game 2, my name is Joao Lara, and I am with Mahir Hassan, and we are about to witness a matchup for the ages. The Kansas University Jayhawks are about to face off against the Texas Tech Raiders. Kansas being the only upset here in this Big 12 tournament, facing off against a Big 12 powerhouse. Mahir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joel. We got a great game on tap. Like you said, this is a Kansas team that has a lot of energy going in. Again, the 6th seed overall, but they got a close win against Arizona State in the first round, and then a massive win against West Virginia. The only upset going into the semifinal, Lexi Watts with the winner in 101 minutes through this match, and that sent this place here at CPKC Stadium into an absolute frenzy. Again, here in Kansas City, only 45 minutes away from Lawrence, so this is a primarily Kansas-based attendance. But nonetheless, this is a team that's coming in with a lot of energy against a Texas Tech side that was rather stable when the last time we saw them on Saturday. Gave up the first goal against Baylor, but were able to come back and just really assert their dominance, kept it going into the second half. And it's kind of the same thing, Joao. You can look at who gets the best start. And you never know what could happen in these first 10 minutes, but it's just sustaining through the entire 90 minutes. That's how the game of soccer is played. That's how every coach preaches it across the country, and that's how we're going to see it tonight.
Now, we've talked tactics. Let's talk lineups. In goal for the Kansas University Jayhawks, we have Sophie Dahl. After that, we have Olivia Page, Sage Wimes, Mackenzie Bove, Kate Langfelder, Michaela Merlot, Lauren Wood, Caroline Castens, Asa Kante, Lexi Watts, and Jillian Grigorski. And for Texas Tech, in goal, Faith Wen. After that, we have Cassie Taylor, Kate Leibel, Peyton Parsons, Jillian Martinez, Taylor Shadrowski, Elise Anderson, Molly Shersensky, Macy Blackburn, Caitlin Jametta, and Ashley Williams.
Just an interesting matchup on both sides, too. You got Kansas in a 3-5-2, Texas Tech in a 4-3-3. Both these teams using those lineups throughout the entire season. It's going to be interesting to see how Texas Tech really likes to spread their center midfielders, maybe get them out to the wings at times, and really try to operate in towards that attacking third. Kansas on the other side, hey, they got their fullbacks. Caroline Castens on the left, Lauren Wood we're expected to see on the right today. That's going to be the type of pairing. Let's see how they can really handle their center midfielders, because the way we've seen this lineup for Kansas, Joao, it's really driven through those fullbacks with Castens and Wood and trying to go forward towards Watts, towards Wimes, towards Grigorski in the box. And sometimes we may see some direct play, but that's the type of balance we may see from Kansas and from Texas Tech tonight.
And really, that 3-5-2 has been so versatile for Kansas, too. Obviously, you have your 3 in the back, but as soon as it comes time to defend, you have your players such as Lauren Wood, you have your players such as Caroline Castens, who come back with ease. They take that ball, and then once when they're up on attack, they can be lethal. Caroline Castens in her first game against Arizona State had an absolute missile right outside the 18-yard box on the left side and just drilled it to the top right corner, and she should be very versatile for these Jayhawks against a great Texas Tech University side. Ladies and gentlemen, Kansas is now on the field. Now we are awaiting Texas Tech. They're still in their huddle with one of their assistant coaches, but it is starting to become less and less for the ball to start rolling here from CPKC Stadium, home of the Kansas City Current. And it's a nice one out here. It's currently 57 degrees here at 7:18 local time, 6:18 back at home. One of the later games, one of the latest games we've had here so far, at least for the start time. And the nice thing about it is that there's no weather delay. It's the perfect weather to play a game of soccer, and it shouldn't affect how these teams play.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Joao. Again, we haven't seen too many night games. Again, the first round and the quarterfinals, all the games moved up. So we saw our nightcap at 5:15. So if this were the first round or the quarterfinals, we would be already calling full time. But here we are in the second semifinal. Like you said, beautiful weather, right? 50s, 60s, maybe going up to 70s, that's perfect soccer weather. You want the ball to move, but you don't want it to just be solid. You don't want it to be as hard as a rock. You want it to have a little bit of fluidity, but give these players enough time, enough space to really run, get that endurance going, especially early. And it's not too cool. We might see that tonight. Temperature is supposed to dip possibly to around 45 degrees when this match ends. But at the same time, it really allows the players to be fluid, but you don't get cramps that much either.
And referee Brandon Gardner now waiting on some indications from his assistant referee Kate Waziak, Josh Mills, and Kyle Armstrong. And the referee blows his whistle, ladies and gentlemen, as Texas Tech now starts with the ball. They are in a white and red, attacking from right to left, as Kansas is in their traditional red outfit, attacking left to right. That ball is going to go ahead and go out for a Kansas throw-in as Caroline Castens plays it up the field with her teammate, receives the ball back immediately, starts losing control on it as we now see Texas Tech on the attack, trying to run down that right wing. Taylor Sadrowski is fouled right outside the 18-yard box, around 27, 28 yards away. This could be a dangerous attack for Texas Tech here.
Yeah, it sure is, and this is going to be an indirect chance. Again, it's a little far out. It's a little bit off to the side on that right wing, so it's going to be really hard unless maybe you get a serendipitous chance. Sophie Daw is probably shading 4 yards off of her goal line, so you never know what can happen, but expect this to be indirect.
Elise Anderson with the cross inside the box, finding Williams. Williams, who just touched it with the back of her head, but the ball is now in the safe hands of Sophie Daw, who is going to go ahead and restart for this Kansas University side.
That was an interesting free kick, Joao. You saw the ball glided in, but Williams took that shot off of her head roughly 12 yards away. That's not close enough to really trouble Dawn. Yes, there was a bounce. Yes, there was a little bit of trouble, but because that ball was taken far away, it caused a little bit of problems. I want that ball going a little bit more further. Let there be a little bit of discourse between Daw coming out and the Red Raiders coming in.
As we now see Sersensky give the ball to Giametta. Giametta playing with Martinez. Martinez playing a wide ball down that left side of Anderson. Anderson trying to play the ball back to the 6th, Peyton Parsons. Ball's rejected by Kansas. It's going to go ahead and go out for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Now to Elise Anderson. Anderson playing the ball to Parsons right on that left side of the box. Rejected by Conte. Ball's now with Langfelder. Langfelder plays it wide to Wood. Wood tries to play it to Wimes. Deflected off of a Texas Tech player, and now it'll go ahead and be Lexi Watts for Kansas. Hits a ball off of Anderson. This ball is going to go ahead and go out for a throw-in on the right-hand side for Kansas, just in Texas Tech University territory. As we now see ball over the top from Woods to Wimes. Wimes cut off by Martinez, but Langfelder there to support and recover the ball for Kansas. Rushing down the right side, Langfelder attempting a cross, ends up faking. Has to play a ball back with Wood. Play is cut off by Anderson for another Kansas University throw-in, still on that right-hand side, but deeper into Texas Tech University territory. As we now see Wimes with pressure from 2 players, plays the ball back to Wood, lets it cross inside the box, looking for who seemed to be Giametta, rejected by Texas Tech, but now it's recovered by Merlo outside the box. Merlo playing it wide with Castens. Castens letting a left-footed cross inside the box, going right, but too much power on that ball, and it's going to go ahead and be a goal kick here for Texas Tech.
Look what I said at the top of the show, Joao. It was all about the fullbacks and trying to get some delivery. We saw Lauren Wood do it on the right-hand side, try to get it over the top, but it's a little too high. And then we see Caroline Castens on the other side trying to do the same thing. That's the bread and butter we try to see from Kansas. Mix that up with a 2-forward spot. They're going to be lethal sometime in this game.
As we now see Wood once again running down the right side, getting close to the edge of the box. That's a cross right inside. Lexi Watts, who wanted to get a foot on it, wasn't able to. Rejected by a Texas Tech defender. This ball is going to go ahead and go out for a corner kick on the right side.
And that goes back to what I said earlier. The wing play for this Kansas side can really trouble, and that's what causes the pressure for Kansas. It allows the corner kick to come in. Another opportunity for the Jayhawks.
Speaking of wings, Caroline Castens now to give the corner kick. Left-footed corner kick going left-footed corner kick. Played short to Wood right outside of the box on the right side. Letting a cross in. Dangerous cross hit out by Wen with both fists. Still in the box for Kansas. Now rejected by Anderson. And now we see Booth with the ball outside of the box. Tries to hit it into Watts, it seemed to be, but now it's Faith Wen with the ball right near the half circle on the 18. Wen playing it short. Now finding Taylor. Taylor has to play Strzynski. Strzynski once again with Wen. Wen lifting her head and a nice driven ball over the top. Attempting to find Williams, now rejected by Kansas. As we now see Caroline Castens. Plays it to Langfelder in the middle. Plays it with Watts in the middle. Now getting closer to Texas Tech territory. Ball is once again with Castens on the left wing. Letting it cross inside the box. A little too much once again. And a Wen who collects the ball is now going to try to start something new for this Texas Tech side that's only had one opportunity off the dead ball here with 39 minutes and 47 seconds left to play in the first half from CPKC Stadium, where it's currently 0-0. As we now see Faith Wen facing pressure, has to play that ball off to Anderson, is able to do so. 3, 4, 5 Kansas players in Texas Tech territory. As we now see Texas Tech pushing up the field with Cassie Taylor, plays that ball with Giametta. Giametta finding Anderson on the left wing. Ball is further played now near the 18-yard box, right on the edge on the left side. Sodrowski can't control that ball. It's hit out by Asa Kante, and it's going to go out for a Texas Tech throw-in. As we now see Anderson play the ball with Parsons. Parsons facing pressure from Boove. And that ball is going to go out for a Texas Tech throw-in once again on the left-hand side. Anderson. Anderson with 1, 2, 3 options. Let's see who she decides to play it to. She ends up playing with Sodrowski. Sodrowski now playing it back with Leibel. Leibel playing a wide ball, finding Macy Blackburn. Blackburn now on that right side of the box. Had time, had space, decides to play it back Martinez. Martinez plays it back further with Taylor. Ball is now on the left with Anderson. Anderson pushing the ball up the field. Now it's Sodrowski. Sodrowski plays in the middle of Martinez. Martinez who finds Giametta on the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Rejected by Kansas. This could be a counterattack as we now see Watts. Lexi Watts trying to play a ball through to Sage Wimes. Instead, it's going to go ahead and be cut off by Strzynski. Strzynski who has to play back with Faith Wen. Wen who now takes it out of danger. Plays with a Leibel. Leibel plays with Parsons. Parsons with a nice little half turn to evade pressure there. Balls with Anderson. Anderson with Parsons once again. Parsons is going to go ahead and play this ball. Sodrowski. Sodrowski now pushing it up the field. Pushing it up the middle. Getting closer to the Kansas 18-yard box. Tries to cut to the left to get past Mackenzie Boove. Instead, it's rejected. Mackenzie Boove now trying to play this ball up the field with Wimes. Instead, it's rejected once again by Molly Strzynski for Texas Tech to play from the back.
Very open game in these first 10 minutes or so, Joao. Both teams really going at it. Midfield starting to open on both sides. The defense and the goalkeepers really have to be mindful in those situations. How do you get your back line in order? How do you make situations when the ball is going towards you, towards your net? It's a good job so far by Sophie Daw and Faith Wen, but Win's been tested more often than not with how Kansas has been pressuring, especially with their attackers.
Correct, as we now see Wen on the ball. Change of play, attempting to find Anderson. It's cut off by Wood instead. Through ball. Now on the right side of Wimes. A little bit too much on that ball. Instead, it's going to go ahead and be cut off by Molly Strzynski. Strzynski, who attempts to play a ball up that left side to Parsons. Parsons can't get a touch on that left foot. It goes out for a Kansas University throw-in. Wood trying to play a ball to the middle with Watts. It's going to go ahead and be cut off by a Texas Tech University defense. As we now see Giametta on the ball. Giametta playing a through ball on the right side. A little bit too much there for Macy Blackburn. It's going to be rejected by the Kansas defense. Goes out for a Texas Tech University throw-in. First one on that right side.
Yeah, and again, we talk right side for Texas Tech. That's Macy Blackburn's territory. Defender of the year for Big 12. Hasn't had too many touches in this game. Really only 3 or 4, and it's just a simple pass to Jillian Martinez.
And it's just nice to see how versatile Blackburn is for his Texas Tech University side. As we now see Texas Tech play from the back. Martinez playing a wide ball to Anderson on the left. Anderson is finding pressure from Wood. Evades her with a nice couple of feints. Tries to play a ball up to who seemed to be Parsons. Is now in the middle of Parsons. Has to play this ball back with Strzynski. Strzynski now playing this ball over to Macy Blackburn on the right side. Blackburn with time and space. Decides to play with Giametta in the middle. Giametta with a couple of feints to try to lose her defender, Langfelder. Instead, hits the ball a little too long, and it's rejected by Kansas. Kansas now from the back. Ball hit up from Page. Page looking for Wimes. Wimes controlling it with her chest, giving a nice short pass to Merlot. Merlot is going to try to play this ball wide to Cassins. Instead, it's going to be rejected by Texas Tech. Now restarting in the back with Anderson, the left back. Anderson, who carried the ball, facing pressure from Wimes, has to play this ball with Strzynski. Strzynski now receiving the ball, playing it wide to the right with Taylor. Taylor playing back with the goalkeeper when facing pressure from Wood, has to hit that ball out, finds Anderson. Anderson with the questionable touch there, almost goes out of bounds, plays the ball to Martinez, and Kansas is attempting to try to get the ball back here in Texas Tech University territory. As we now see Parsons. Parsons facing pressure, has to play that ball back to Leibel. Leibel now plays with Taylor. Taylor switches it to the right side, and now it's Blackburn. Blackburn with a couple of possible options. Plays with Jametta in the middle. Jametta now playing a ball to Parsons. Parsons on the right side, but Asa Conte getting a nice right foot on that ball to send it out for a Texas Tech throw-in. And spectacular play there, and it's actually going to be a throw-in for Kansas. Lauren Wood now on the ball. Plays it forward to Sage Wimes. Wimes attempting to play a through ball. Nobody's really there. Instead, it's going to be a Faith Wen ball from the back. Wen now with Strzynski. Strzynski once again with Wen, now near the touchline on that left side. Has to play a ball through a Leibel. Leibel facing pressure, has to play it with Strzynski. Strzynski, who tried to play a ball through Anderson, fouled in the process. Now it's a dead ball for Texas Tech, still deep in their defensive territory.
Faith Wynn is playing really off of the ball for Texas Tech. She's really not even going far into like the edges of her 18. She's playing further back, kind of closer towards the goal line rather than that boundary. It's really inviting that pressure for Kansas because her Texas Tech players have to check back to the ball and they have to build from the back. You have to go forward. And again, I have nothing against building from the back. You want to have possession. You want to establish and continue possession as the game goes on. But at the same time, if your players, they have to check to you and they can't make a half turn and move forward, then what's that possession for, right? If nobody's checking in, if nobody can check in a certain amount of times, you're going to give possession up. And that's been the problem for Texas Tech today. It's basically been off of the counterattacks, and that first moment, fresh off kicking the ball, that's really been the only thing working for the Red Raiders so far tonight.
Correct, as we now see a ball pushed forward by Asa Conte. It's going to go out for a Texas Tech throw in here on the left side, and I mean, you're right. Nobody's checking in. Nobody's helping out, and that's really why they can't maintain possession of this ball. Let's see what they can do here from the back, especially with Kansas University pressure, as we now see Molly Strzynski on the ball. Correction, Anderson. Instead, it's going to be Anderson, and she's going to go ahead and take her time as her referee has blown his whistle. Talking to Williams and Langfelder there, who are getting a little physical. And Anderson still looking for someone, but Kansas with nice defensive position tries to play a ball over the top to Parsons. Instead, it's going to be rejected by Lauren Wood. Once again, Anderson now trying to play Williams over the top, rejected by Langfelder. Langfelder playing with Watts. Stolen by Texas Tech University. It's Molly Strzynski playing a wide ball over the top to Blackburn. Blackburn not able to get there. Actually, instead is cut off. As we now see Texas Tech start from the back, 31 minutes and 37 seconds left to play here in the first half from CPKC Stadium. This game is currently 0-0, but Texas Tech with the promising attack with Parsons. Parsons playing it wide to Leibel. Once again with Parsons letting off a right-footed shot. It's going to be saved by Sophie Daw to keep this game 0-0 and give the Jayhawks life.
Great build-up by Texas Tech, and we've talked about Payson Parsons and what she can do, playing that sixth role and just driving down the middle. Nobody seemed to challenge her for Kansas, and that's a great interplay out towards the wing, back in towards the center, just couldn't get that first-time shot, and it's an easy save for Daw.
And it was a nice 1-2 play with Sadrowski in the box. I mean, she had Sadrowski on the right, but Sadrowski recognized maybe Parsons has a better opportunity to have it. First clear opportunity here for Texas Tech in this first half. As we now see Molly Strzynski on the ball. Molly letting a cross near the penalty hash. almost finding Leibel, rejected by Kansas. Now it's Jillian Martinez, right outside the 18 on the left side, attempting to give a cross there in the 18, rejected by Cassens, and it's a foul. It's a foul against Texas Tech University. A little bit too physical, the referee says, against Sardrowski, and it's a reset. It's Booth. Booth playing with Conte. Conte playing towards the middle with Olivia Page. Page taking her time and now playing on the left with Castens. Castens playing the nice split with Langfelder. Langfelder now playing with Asa Conte. Conte playing with Lauren Wood on the right side. Lauren Wood wants to take that right wing, and she almost did. Was forced out by Anderson. It's going to be a throw-in for Kansas. 29:52 left to play here in this first half. The game is still 0-0. As we now see Merlot lose the ball in the back. Now it's Parsons. Parsons on that left side near her own box. Tries to let that ball out. Instead, it's recovered by Merlot in Texas Tech University territory. Tries to play it with Wood. Merlot had the last touch, and that's a Texas Tech ball. Jillian Martinez now with Anderson. Anderson attempting a play between two. Now it's recovered by Langfelder on that right side. Has to play back into her own half with Mackenzie Booth. Booth taking her time. Now playing with Daw, who's near that half circle in her 18. Once again with Booth. Booth playing wide on that right wing with Asa Conte. Asa Conte pushing up the field. Now passing the halfway mark. Tries to play a ball with Wimes. Instead finds a rebound. Now it's Macy Blackburn on the left side. Tries to play with Anderson. Recovered by Wood. Wood rushing down that right side of the box. Now in. Letting a right-footed shot near the left post. Instead it's going to go out for a Texas Tech goal kick.
That was a good run by Wood, and as soon as she cut that ball going towards the end line, you knew she had a chance. The only thing I would say about that, though, is that's a tight angle she shot it at going in towards the side netting. Try to cross it in, try to get a little bit of a deflection, get something going. You know, Lexi Watts really good with one-timers. Same with Sage Wimes. Both of those players have done really good at really pressuring their attack this season. 14 goals between the two of them. If you can get a shot off, basically off a simple touch like that, that can get Kansas better flowing because they've had possession, they just haven't had the shots.
As you now see Sursensky on the right side of the box, letting off a right-footed cross rejected by Kansas. But now Jillian Martinez right outside the 18-yard, playing it wide on the left side on the edge of the box. Now it's Parsons letting off a cross. Ball goes over, can't be hit by Williams. Now a shot from Giametta, blocked by Kansas once again, cleared. Now it's Anderson, still in Kansas territory. Now playing with Sursensky. Sursensky finding Leibel down the middle. Leibel, who commands that middle territory, now plays it wide with Anderson. Anderson trying to find Parsons on a left lob. The ball, 27 minutes and 30 seconds as his ball's going to go out for a Texas Tech corner kick. And now it's Parsons on the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Texas Tech players in the box. Jillian Martinez right at that half circle. And Macy Blackburn as the short option. Parsons raising her right hand. Right-footed cross. Going over. Close to the Olympico once again. Instead it's rejected by the goalkeeper. And now it is Taylor. Taylor attempting to play back with Martinez. Now it's Wimes. Wimes rushing down the left wing from her own half. Now crossing the middle. Attempting to get past Anderson. Anderson with a nice defensive stance. Wimes can't go through. Rejection from Anderson, and it goes out for a Kansas University throw-in on the left-hand side.
How about that attack, though, from Wimes, just going down the left, getting another explosive play. That's what a lot of coaches tell kids, even at a young age. How do you get past your defender?
And Watts is fouled right outside of the Texas Tech box, right at the left edge of that box. And there is going to be a yellow card here against Texas Tech. And it is going to be issued to a number 21, Molly Sursensky. As we now see Kate Langfelder on the ball. This could be a shot. This could be a cross. Has multiple options. Has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options inside the box. 2 at the edge. Referee blows his whistle. Langfelder with a cross inside the box. Almost finding Olivia Page, instead rejected by Texas Tech defender. Ball now being crossed inside the box. It's Lauren Wood at the edge. Lets off a left-footed shot. Goes right over the goal. And even a field goal, some may say. And it's going to go ahead and go out for a Texas Tech goal kick.
That's a good chance by Wood. You're taking it off the volley. You're around 18 yards out. You want to try to get that energy. Why not take a half volley and try to hit it with your foot? Just couldn't get the right contact. Didn't point the foot down so it would go straight. Just had a little bit of an arc to it. Just couldn't get the right clean contact to send it sharp into the net.
As we now see a tied game 0-0 here with 25 minutes and 37 seconds. But here, what do both sides need?
I think for Texas Tech, it's just some sustained possession right now. You understand, yes, you are miles away from home. Yes, you are technically, in that case, the road team. But at the same time, you are the better team. And you do have a lot of armada in your space.
Correct. As Texas Tech tried to get to the attack there. Rejected cross from Anderson. Kansas pressing high up in Texas Tech defensive territory as we now see Strzynski.
And going back to your point, Joao, I think for Kansas, it's just about making those shots, right? Really getting towards this team. Again, this Jayhawks side had 15 shots against West Virginia. It took until number 15 to get that goal. Even though they held possession, it was a little bit tough at times.
Correct, as we now see a nice 1-2 play between Parsons and Anderson. Anderson trying to let a left-footed cross into the box on the left side. Inside that 18-yard box. Instead, it's rejected by Lauren Wood. It's going to go ahead and go out for a Texas Tech corner kick. And nobody else than Peyton Parsons now on the ball. The junior from Denver, Colorado, has been phenomenal for the Red Raiders this season with 19 games played, 19 games started, 9 goals, and 5 assists. Now, a short ball into the box for Texas Tech. Rejected very well by Lexi Watts, getting that right foot to hit it out into space. As we now see Anderson cutting against Wimes. Plays it to the left-hand side with Macy Blackburn. Blackburn facing pressure from Watts. Has to change the field and find Cassie Taylor. Taylor trying to find Jemetta in the middle. Rejected by Langfelder, who got a strong foot on there. As we now see Castens. Castens playing that ball up to her teammate. Her teammate facing pressure. It was Jillian Grigorski, who had tons of pressure from Texas Tech, is fouled in the process. It's going to be a Kansas ball, still in their defensive territory. Caroline Castens looking for that ball. And 23 minutes and 24 seconds left to play here from CPKC Stadium. And we are here at the 2024 Big 12 Soccer Championships presented to you by Sprouts. As we see Wimes now get into the Texas Tech box. Nice battle with Molly Skrsenski, who hits the ball out for a Kansas throw-in.
Another chance for Kansas. And again, this is a 6-seeded team trying to pull another upset, trying to once again establish itself in attacking territory.
Cross into the box from Castens, looking for Grigorski, is cut off by goalkeeper Faith Wen. Wen is going to push her players up the field. Looking for a long ball here. Drop kick. Crosses the halfway point. Finds Ashley Williams. Williams, who gets rejected by Mackenzie Booth. Ball ends up in the feet of Castens. Castens, who was in the middle, now rejected by Parsons. Parsons playing it wide with Blackburn. Blackburn now pushing up that right-hand side. Blackburn letting a right-footed cross to the left side. Rejected by Wood. Found by Parsons in the middle. Fake shot. Has the opportunity to shoot here. Rejected by Kansas. Ball still remains in Texas Tech possession, deep in Kansas territory, as it's now who seems to be Blackburn. Blackburn playing it wide with Jillian Martinez once again. Martinez, who has to use Anderson as support as Langfelder had the area well covered. Now it's Parsons on the left-hand side, right outside of that half circle. Playing it wide with Blackburn. Rejected by Watts. Now it's going to be Watts against Taylor. Watts, who recovers the ball for Texas Tech, has to play it back with Merlot. Merlot now playing with Castens, and Kansas is going to put this game on ice a little.
Yeah, and again, this is a Kansas team that was defending almost everybody in the field in their attacking third and set pieces, everybody in the 18-yard box just hunkering down Nate Lee's side.
As we now see Lexi Watts on the right edge of the box. Gets into a nice little physical scrap with Cassie Taylor, who's going to end up poking this ball out for a Kansas throw-in on the right-hand side. Caroline Castens now on the ball. And really, this is going to be a corner kick instead. Ball went out really close to, couldn't decide if it was a corner kick or a throw-in. Caroline Castens looking for the left-footed cross, raises her right hand. Ball now going in near that penalty hash mark area. It's going to be hit over by who seemed to be Asakante. Ball is going to go ahead and go out for a Texas Tech goal kick. And Faith Nguyen, once again, is going to start from the back.
Another interesting set piece for Kansas. Again, they had the center backs crashing. You try to get ahead, flick it towards the back post. Just didn't seem as intentional. They haven't really taken any set pieces towards the near post, try to distract Nguyen from what she sees up front. And that's something that Kansas was really doing during these first 5 to 10 minutes, really pressuring this Texas Tech back line, trying to establish itself early on.
As we now see Langfelder pressing Martinez. Langfelder, who ends up receiving the ball, evident to that pressure. Plays the ball back and wide with Boove. Boove has to play it with Page. Page now playing wide on the right side with Conte. Conte attempting a through ball who was either going to Wimes or Wood. Instead goes out for a goal kick. Texas Tech on the restart once again.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Joao, because if you were to ask me 5 to 10 minutes ago who's the better team right now, I would say Kansas. Just simply off their pressure and coaxing Texas Tech into making bad decisions. Now I think it's very open because Kansas doesn't have that type of prowess that they did in the first 15, 20 minutes or so. Texas Tech has tried to take some of the windows for their own.
As we now see still a 0-0 game with 19 minutes and 10 seconds left, as Caroline Castens cuts against the Texas Tech defender, ends up getting past successfully, can't get the pass off correctly. Now it's Parsons on the attack for Texas Tech. Plays it wide with Jillian Martinez. Martinez with a nice left-footed cross over the top. Now it's going to go ahead and be Zdrojewski in front of goal, letting off a left-footed shot. Rejected by the Kansas defense. And it's going to go ahead and be a foul right in the semicircle of the 18-yard box. This could be dangerous for Texas Tech.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, a little too close, you could say, to Sophie Dawes' goal. You have to maybe go under the wall or you have to pip it to perfection. But that's a good run by Zdrojewski. She understands the run. She gets the ball over the top. Nobody's really marking her. I think I would have gone a bit faster in that situation. Instead of trying to cut it towards your favorite left boot, try to go on the right. Try to get it into some space where it's just you and the goalkeeper so numbers don't track back. But nonetheless, a good chance for Tech. They're going to move this ball maybe a yard back just to get a little bit more space.
And I mean, I think for at least this play, Martinez should be the one taking the shot. But at such a high level, you have to be able to use both of those feet, especially if you're a forward. Martinez on a dangerous play. Running over to the ball. Instead, it's going to be Parsons letting off a right-footed shot. Ends up bouncing off of the Kansas wall. And it's going to be another foul. But this time for Kansas, as they get to restart and take a breath of air. Restart here with 17 minutes and 33 seconds still left to play in this first half. You've mentioned they've been you've mentioned that they've been pressuring this whole first half. How do you think that affects legs? Do you think they'll be able to, replicate the same amount of pressure in the second half?
I think they might. It's just a matter of can they get their endurance up, right? That's where you rely on your bench to see who has the better depth, who can come in and make a difference. I mean, we did see that last week, or rather on Saturday against Baylor, right? Story Sexton comes into the match, just gets a little touch on goal. It just crosses the line. That ends up being the winner for Texas Tech over Baylor, and she just got that in the last second, basically right before halftime. So this is a Tech side that will play as this game goes on, and the same goes for Kansas too. Both of these players, both of these teams rely on what they see on their bench. And speaking of bench, I think we're going to see a couple changes for Kansas sometime soon. Jordan Felstad and Jocelyn Harima currently warming up.
It should be exciting to see how Feldstad and Harima are gonna integrate into this already stellar Kansas side. They've been phenomenal this first half and really just beating all expectations as they've done all tournament. Ball now crossed over, rejected by Leibel. It's gonna be hit off the head of Langfelder, but instead Martinez is gonna receive it. Ends up giving it to Anderson. Anderson now with Parsons. Parsons with a little tussle there, sort of whiffed the ball. Ended up trying to give a pass to Williams on the left wing. Instead, it's going to bounce off of a Kansas defender, goes out for a throw-in. It's going to be Anderson, who plays it quick to Parsons. Parsons trying to find Anderson once again on the left wing. Ball is going to cross that touch line and go out for a Kansas throw-in. And once again, those two substitutions that Mahir mentioned earlier, Jocelyn Harema and Jordan Feldstad. And coming off, it's going to go ahead and be Sage Wimes. And it's going to go ahead and be Lauren Wood, who comes off too. What do you think Harema and Feldstad brings to the table for this Kansas side?
Just new energy overall. This is a Feldstad in general has just really brought that drive to the right wing. Try to get a little bit more balance. She plays more of a right midfielder role than a right wing back role, so she'll be more forward up on the pitch. And then Harima really just wants to try to dictate the pace, maybe let things go a little bit more for Lexi Watts and try to get in behind, I should say. Try to get a little pairing going between the two forwards in general.
As we now see Kansas trying to play a long ball to Watts. Watts can't get a good touch on it. Blackburn is going to be there to reject. Plays it to Jametta. Jametta now plays with Leibel in the middle. Leibel switching the field now to the left side with Jillian Martinez. Martinez touching the ball with time and space. Decides to play with Anderson still on that left wing. Anderson now charging towards the middle. Rejected by Grigorski. The ball is going to end up finding a feet of Martinez. Martinez is going to go ahead and hit this ball out for a Kansas University throw-in. As we now see Jordan Feldstad, the recent substitution for Kansas, throws a ball over the top, is finding Jocelyn Harima. Sort of an exchange of possession there. It ends up being a ball in the air that's hit out by Molly Skursensky for a Kansas throw-in. Feldstad over the top, attempting to find the Watts. Instead, it's rejected by Texas Tech. Jillian Martinez ends up giving a pass to Leibel. Leibel widens up the field with Blackburn. Blackburn facing pressure between two players. Has to go ahead and play it back with Taylor. Taylor trying to hit a ball over the top. Instead, it's going to be rejected by Michaela Merlo. This ball is going to go ahead and go out for a Texas Tech throw-in. And it's also going to cause two substitutions for Texas Tech. Mahir, who's coming on and who's coming off?
Yeah, so it's Alana Harry coming on, along with Millie Elwood. An Elwood player who has started multiple times this season. We'll see Jillian Martinez, along with Caitlin Giametta, check off. So a little bit, once again, we saw this from Kansas where the midfielder and forward gets replaced. It's the same thing with Texas Tech. Just try to get a little bit more energy going down the wing. Again, Giametta playing that left wing forward spot, but she hasn't seen the ball that much. She really hasn't established any spot on that left wing. She's trying to cut inside, try to make some inroads, but really nothing's working for that Texas Tech front line today.
And then Millie Elwood, the only foreign player here on this Texas Tech side, the freshman from Marlow, England. 19 games, 2 games started. Let's see what she contributes to this Texas Tech side. As Kansas tries to get an attack, ball over the top, attempting to find Jocelyn Harima. Instead, it's going to find the hands of Faith Wen. 12 minutes and 34 seconds left in this first half. Here from CPKC Stadium, this game is still 0-0. As we now see Molly Skursensky play a ball to Jametta. Jametta widens up the field with Anderson. Anderson plays a quick, close pass to Parsons. Parsons tries to get a spin on that ball. Instead, it's going to go ahead and be Harima with the ball for Kansas. Harima to Conte. Conte attempting to play Gregorski over the top. Puts a little bit too much on that ball. Doesn't really get the direction that she wants. Goes out for a Texas Tech throw-in. As we now see number 20, Elise Anderson.
It's been an interesting day for Texas Tech. It's been an interesting day for both sides, Joao. Again, this game has a little bit, it kind of gives shades of what we saw on Saturday, right? And granted, it was a downpour on Saturday. It was rough playing conditions. Today, you know, it's nighttime, it's cold, but it's clear, right? So you're not going to have an immediate impact on the ball, but at the same time, it's been kind of a standstill. And I think Texas Tech has been more pressing when you look at how they've attacked Dawes Net compared to West Virginia on Saturday. But I think Kansas has remained the same, right? They've got the shots. They've been very patient in the midfield. I think this is a Nate Lee side that understands, hey, you know, if the game's tied after 90 minutes, you don't walk away with a point. You have to play into extra time. If there's no score in extra time, you have to go to penalties. And there's always this constant movement of saying, hey, you know, there are some teams that say, all right, well, sometimes we can win it in the 90 minutes. And then there are some teams that just say, hey, we'll ride it out and we'll win it from the spot. So it's an interesting strategy, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as the game goes along.
As we now see Watts tussling against Blackburn. Blackburn ends up taking that ball off that right-hand side, has to clear the ball, ends up finding Caroline Castens for Kansas. Let's see what can happen here. Ball looking for Watts. Instead, it's going to find the feet of Jametta. Jametta playing back with one, and you mentioned a great point with the rain. There's no more of an unpredictability factor, especially with the ball going different velocities and different directions. Texas Tech, who can't really clear out the back. Caroline Castens putting up great pressure, ends up sending the ball out of bounds for a Texas Tech throw-in off the right-hand side. In between that halfway mark and their own 18-yard box, they're still closer to their own 18-yard box. As we now see ball attempted to be played with Zadrowski. Instead, it's going to bounce the other way towards the middle. Ball is now with Millie Elwood. Ends up playing it with Blackburn. Blackburn to Elwood. Instead, it's rejected by Kansas. Ball trying to go over the top. Can't find Harima. Sort of a tussle here in between both sides. Ball doesn't have a clear owner yet. Ball trying to go over the top to Alana Harry. Rejected by Kansas. Now finds Parsons in the middle. Parsons to Leibel. Leibel tries to play his ball wide to Anderson. Anderson still facing pressure from Harima. Has to play it with Szersensky. Szersensky finding Parsons on the left side. Parsons lifting her head. Nice left-footed touch to Harry. Harry trying to find Anderson. An exotic touch there from Harima. Kansas, who tries to get up on the attack, can't get a through ball strung forward. Now Strigorski on the right wing against Molly Sierkensky. Sierkensky is going to end up sending this ball out on the right side for a Kansas throw-in. And there's going to be 2 more substitutions for the Jayhawks. Coming in for the Jayhawks is going to be number 26, Sophia Nickel. Coming off is going to be number 18, Lexi Watts. And then finally coming on for the Jayhawks is going to be Amika Kaugish. And then coming off is Michaela Merlo. As you now see Langfelder. Langfelder trying to play a ball to Harima. Instead, it's rejected by Texas Tech, but nice recovery there from Nickel to Harima. Cross inside the box. Almost finding who seemed to be a Kansas forward. Instead, it's hit out by Texas Tech. Ball is going to go out for a Texas Tech corner kick. And it's Caroline Castens once again on the ball.
Another chance for the Jayhawks, and you can tell Nate Lee wants to make these substitutions and really treat these last few minutes as a chance to try to get that goal, right? You can get that goal and really change momentum going into halftime.
Castens on the ball. Left-footed cross near the penalty marker. It's hit out. There is a possible handball here. But nevertheless, Texas Tech continues to play the ball. As we now see Millie Elwood on the left-hand side. Has to play a ball to Jametta. Jametta ends up losing the ball to Knust. Knust attempting to play Harriman in the middle. Ends up getting past 2 defenders. Right side of the box. Lets it cross off. Nickel can't hit it. Now it's Kaugish. Left-footed shot. Rejected by Cassie Taylor. Kansas still with the ball. Cross inside from Castens. Ends up finding Knust. Knust goes down in the box. But still, a Texas Tech goal kick. And this Kansas bench is on fire.
Yeah, and you can tell just off those chances, too. Again, Amika Kaugish, she only has 1 goal, 1 assist this season, but she's been constant in this area. Just so many players able to get a chance. We saw Kogish, Nickel possibly, another player that just checked into the match. I talked about energy, Joao, and that's something you want to see towards the end of the half. And I mean, we saw that in the UEFA Champions League earlier today. Inter Milan against Arsenal. Milan kind of on the back foot for the final 10 minutes or so. As soon as stoppage time happens, they go forward. They get a handball in the box and then a penalty converted right before halftime. It ends up being the decider in that game. So you never know what can happen here.
Correct. And physical play here in the back as Peyton Parsons ends up tripping Kate Langfelder, and Parsons is going to see a yellow card on this action. Parsons didn't like going to the ground, ends up sticking out a foot. Trips up the Kansas midfielder, and the referee says, oh no, I'm not having any of that here.
Yeah, that was another rough challenge where Parsons went down. She tried to return the favor, but you could tell what was egregious and what wasn't.
Feldstad attempting to play Herma. Herma not able to get the ball, but ball is now recovered by Knust. Knust on the right-hand side plays it with Feldstad. Feldstad tries to play Herma over the top. This ball has a little bit too much on it, and it's going to go ahead and go out for a Texas Tech goal kick. And really, what we talked earlier about TCU and BYU and how the last game for BYU had NCAA playoff implications. What does it look like for both of these sides too, Mahir?
I mean, both teams ideally could make the tournament. I mean, there are 64 teams, but at the same time, you have to understand 64 teams, but a lot of conferences that may not be as good as the Power 4 conferences and just that group in general will end up making it. So yes, 49 is good, but is it enough to get in? I don't know. And that's the case for Kansas. Texas Tech at 37. So even though they have the second seed, they're 5th overall in RPI. So these are two teams that are, at the very least, trying to make it to the final to get at least a little bit of a bid going. In my opinion, I think if Texas Tech makes the final, they're going to the tournament. And hey, they're ranked top 25 in a lot of respective polls, just not RPI. For Kansas, it's a little different. They have to get to the final, and in my opinion, they have to win it all. So beat Texas Tech tonight and beat TCU on Saturday if they wanted to make it to NCAAs.
I was speaking with one of the assistant coaches here for Kansas before the game, and really they said they were Kansas here in the box with an opportunity. Shot let off from Langfelder, going to the right post, and she's going to go ahead and score. Unexpected here for Kansas. Going up with 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to play. And instead, it's actually going to be Reina Knust. When the ball had a scramble inside the box, Knust told her teammates, get out of the way and let me handle this. The ball was bouncing in and out. Wen had a great save. Wen trying to get up, but really just had the screen effect right in front of her. Couldn't see that shot going at all. And after an unexpected sequence for Kansas, they're going to be up 1-0.
Just an interesting sequence. The ball's bouncing around, and that's the problem with Faith Wynn, and we've talked about that Texas Tech defense. They've been allowing the Kansas pressure to really roll in. It pays dividends here.
And it's going to be Reina Knust who ends up scoring for the Jayhawks after an unprecedented sequence. A little over 4 minutes left to play, and Texas Tech is on the back foot here. Ball now going over the top. The referee is going to blow his whistle. He's going to show who seems to be Faith Went? No.
I don't think there was a card.
Sorry, it
looked like he was trying to maybe trot it over. It was just going for a reset.
With the light there and it bouncing off of his hand, I really thought there was a card there. Evidently not. Faith Wen now hitting the ball at the back, finding Asakante in the process. Asakante giving the possession over to Texas Tech. Ball was at the feet of Peyton Dias. And this ball is going to go ahead and go out for a Kansas University throw-in.
But you can tell that just changes momentum, Joao. And again, we've seen the underdogs really strike first in this entire tournament. Kind of a telling sign of what we've seen here in Kansas City over the past few days. We saw it earlier today with BYU, but TCU was able to respond and get the last 2 goals just right before halftime, too. I think KU's just trying to keep this ball and get this lead going into the break.
As you now see Asakante Now playing the ball back with Mackenzie Booth with a nice move to get past Story Sexton. Ball now going over the top, attempting to find Sophia Nickel. Ball has to be played with Faith Wen. Faith Wen has no other outlet, has to play the ball out. It's going to be a throw-in for Kansas.
And as this game goes along, Joao, the more energy goes towards Kansas. That's just how things work. And knowing the home crowd, there are a lot of blue shirts, got a few black jackets, but most of them are on the Kansas side. At least Kansas is half of the pitch right now. It's close to where their bench is. It's kind of nice. It's nice to have this home crowd advantage, and they might be playing a little bit of a role as this game goes on.
And Lawrence not too far from here, a 40-minute drive, as there's a ball swung into the box, now rejected by Skursensky, and it's going to be Blackburn who tries to get on the attack for Texas Tech, ends up losing the ball. Now it's Kaugish. Kaugish playing with Harema. Harema doesn't have anybody else. It's going to be rejected by Haas. She's going to send that ball out for a Kansas throw-in on the left-hand side in their own defense. As we now see Mackenzie Booth, and really this Kansas defense has been phenomenal today. I mean, they've been able to stop attacks on the wings, and whenever there's danger in the box, they've blocked a couple of crucial shots.
They've been in sync. That's the biggest way I'd say to describe it. Save for that chance over the top where Parsons got in behind for a little while, or it was not Parsons, it was Sergeski. This team's kind of been man-marking as soon as someone gets in or around the 18, right? They've stopped crosses from coming in for Texas Tech, who's already at a disadvantage and has to play their wingers, or not even wingers, their fullbacks forward. So it really causes for a lot of trouble. We've seen this Kansas team at times put every single field player in the 18 or roughly 25 to 30 yards away from Sophie Dawes' net, and it's really helped them out because now you can get into the situation where you can go on the attack, and your defense is strong in that situation.
Correct, and it's really helped them out too, especially when they want to get a lot of people out on the attack. Just playing those wing backs, it's been crucial to allow them to prevent counterattacks, and let's see if they end up switching it up in the second half. I mean, you don't want to be that predictable too. And Texas Tech definitely has a lot of things to work on too in the second half, as we now see Skursensky with a nice little 360 to get past two defenders. Ends up playing the ball to Skylar Haas. Haas almost ends up losing the ball. Ends up dribbling nicely past two. Can't get past the third, who was Reina Knust. And now there's going to be 5 seconds left in this first half. As ladies and gentlemen, the Kansas University Jayhawks are gonna go ahead and finish off this first half with the lead.
Just a lot of emotions you can tell from Kansas. As soon as we saw that halftime whistle, a lot of bench players just going over and hugging Reina Knust. Again, a veteran on this team, the senior midfielder, 2 goals now this season. Had one against Tulsa on August 22nd. 8 career goals going into this game for the Jayhawks. So she's been a pivotal part of this team. She's seen the rebuild that this team has done over the past few years, making that transition over towards Nate Lee, who's the head coach now in his first year. It would be telling. I will say this. In terms of rebuilding, and just from me seeing teams rebuild, not just in soccer, but across many sports, when you can get someone who has been with the program for a long time, who has seen the struggles that the program has gone through, and they make such a pivotal position, a pivotal moment, that's just great. That's just great overall. That's the beauty of sports. And if Reina Knust and the Jayhawks can hold up, that's your winner. That's your ticket to take on TCU. You're 90 minutes away from a trip to the NCAA tournament. That's pretty good if you ask me.
And yes, as the underdog, I mean, Kansas has faced adversity already, beating a West Virginia side who ended up receiving votes here in the U.S. coaches poll. They've played this game to excellence. Sure, their goal wasn't as pretty as a lot of people might have wanted, but either way, this game isn't about how pretty your goal is. It's about if you can put this ball in the back of the net. Kansas having a shot less, Kansas having a less shot on goal too, they're able to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kansas up 1-0 versus Texas Tech in this first half. My name is Joao Lara. I'm here with Mahir Sinhasan. and we will be back from CPKC Stadium after a short break.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ set is hot until proven otherwise. And that's why I fight for you, headbangers. Hot FM. Hot FM on Blaze Radio. Listen live every Monday at 11 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com. That's blazeradioonline.com.
Is what I wanted. Is what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Are you a racing fan or want to learn more about the sport? Join Cooper Burns and Eric List every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Blaze Radio as they discuss everything from NASCAR to dirt racing and more on Fuel for Thought.
How to throw a football. How to hit a baseball off a bat. How to make a basketball go through the hoop and make that swish sound. These are all questions we wonder when we are learning how to play a sport. But have you ever wondered what it may be like to interview someone who is in the sports industry? Like, how do I become a broadcaster? How do I become a graphic designer? How do I become a public address announcer? It's all here. How to Sports, your go-to sports industry leading show here on Blaze Radio and blazeradioonline.com. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. with Ryan Pasesnik, Max Williams, and Tyler Wargo. How to Sports. It's in the game.
Grab your mates and join us for the finest sports show on Blaze Radio, The Irish Hello.
With the wisdom of the Irish duo, you'll have the knowledge of old pals at the pub, sharing each and every moment.
Join Aidan O'Neill and Shay Maloney every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30 for breakdowns of sports news across the world as a pot of gold awaits.
Welcome to 4 on 4, where we have all 4 experts on the 4 major sports. Join Sammy Newt, Dylan Wickman, Justin DeHaas, and Sean Brennan on Blaze Radio as they break down an exciting semester of sports that includes the MLB postseason, top NFL storylines, the biggest offseason news from the NBA and NHL, and anything relevant happening in the sports world. At the end of the day, we're just 4 roommates that love to talk sports, so join the conversation. Listen live on blazeradioonline.com every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Arizona time, or if you missed us, check us out on Spotify, where you can hear all of our shows.
Hi, I'm Casey McNulty.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen.
And welcome to The Hot Seat, where each week we answer your burning sports questions. Want to hear us settle sports debates and talk about our biggest takes in the sports world? Well, we've got you covered.
As 2 former athletes and current sports journalists, we offer the perspective of what it's like to be on the field or court
or pool.
So tune in every week at 10 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com.
See you in the hot seat.
Coming this fall, Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Blaze Radio's premier sports movie talk show returns.
There's no crying in Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
If you ain't first, then watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Guys, there are rich teams and there are poor teams. And then there's 50 feet of crap. And then there's people who don't watch Friday Night Lights Camera Action.
Remember the time Friday Night Lights Camera Action showed up at halftime and Blaze Radio won the Bourbon Bowl? Friday Night Lights Camera Action, Friday starting at 9 p.m. Arizona time on blazeradioonline.com.
Now go out there and take it.
What's up, everyone? Life is confusing, so I, Natalia Marin, have decided to answer some of life's wonders, asking the question, does it work? AKA the name of my new show, Does It Work? Will have fun conversations featuring my hours of research, evaluating if cultural phenomenons, government systems, and psychological theories actually work. Make sure to listen live every Monday at 9 a.m. on blazeradioonline.com to see, if it works.
Just a music show.
On Tuesdays from 3:30 to 4:30. A show about sampling. Hosted by a city boy named Shane Saya. Talking about free samples.
Ever feel like you don't quite fit the mold?
A Little Unorthodox breaks it completely.
Join us as we dive into the messy intersections of faith, identity, and culture with stories that don't always follow the rules.
From in-depth interviews
to live event coverage,
we're here to explore what it really means to belong or not.
Join us, Emily Fox-Million
and Abe Mogelson,
on Sunday at 11 a.m.
Because sometimes the best way to make sense of it all is by getting a little unorthodox.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but like, what's your take though? Yeah, he's cool, but Heisman? That team don't got nobody on there who could shoot any type of threes. I'm supposed to believe they're a playoff team? You're not answering the question. The question is, who is the better football team right now? Hey, I like that take right there. And it's not even close. What are we talking about? There's no midfielder as naturally talented as him in the last 20 years. Tune in to Let's Talk Takes every week, hosted by me, Devin Henderson, where I bring in different guests each week and we debate the most pressing topics in a variety of sports. I'm talking NFL, NBA, college basketball, college football. We even gonna talk about some soccer. Tune in every week, Thursday, 2 to 3 p.m. right here on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
Hey, it's me again. It's your good friend, Max Cepeda. And the only guarantee I can give you is this. Any Tuesday night, anything can happen.
God, you're so good at interviewing, Max. Jeez, someone give him an award.
It ain't about the game, it's about the game. You feel me, Max?
That's no
it ain't about the game, it's about the game.
She decided she was too good for Disney, and I was like,
she wins no matter what. Taylor
crazy.
Swift is always right.
Blaze Radio presents The World According to Zippy, Season 3. Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on Blaze Radio and BlazeRadioOnline.com and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, why are you crying?
Charlie Blackmon's gone!
What do you mean Charlie Blackmon's gone? You got Zach Veen. That will be ready to be called up in center field.
Who's Zach Veen?
You get to hear all about Zach Veen every Monday from 8 to 9 on Up on Deck on Blaze Radio.
Every Monday, baby!
The following is the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, and it is scheduled for one fall.
Join Luke Carter, Justin Lacertosa, Luca Lindo, and Dylan Oliver every Monday from 4 to 4:30, where we talk about all the high-flying, table smashing, eyebrow raising, limousine riding action in professional wrestling.
Welcome to your favorite show where everything is untitled, unscripted, and unhinged.
Us Podsmiths and Yes Podsmiths are what professional podcasters are called. Let's just say we're your favorite Podsmiths, favorite Podsmiths.
On our show, we discuss a variety of different topics and segments, from the latest news to your favorite tunes.
And it's not just us. Every week we bring in a special guest to shake things up.
So join me, CJ Stevenson,
and me, Kate Nakamura, every Monday at 4:30 p.m. on Blaze Radio.
Heya! Want to stay up to date with what's up in the gaming industry? Want to listen to a girl yap about her gaming opinions and hot takes? Then tune in Wednesdays at 4 p.m. for Power Up on BlazeRadioOnline.com to join me, Chaz Alvin, as I walk you through the latest and greatest in gaming news, from PC to console, from indie to AAA, while also discussing what makes video games such an interesting and engaging art form. See you then!
We listen to the show for magic. We listen to the A-list to rant, to laugh, to argue, because we need that, all of us.
That indescribable feeling we get when the on-air sign lights up and we review movies you've probably seen before.
Not just entertained, but somehow informed. Much more than new. 12 noon, every single Tuesday.
Somehow, from Larissa, Gibbs, Zach, and Spencer, our show feels like you're talking to the 4 worst people you know. Because here, you are.
The A-List. We make movies worse.
Howdy everyone, it's Jack Footer, aka JFoo, and I'm here to let you know the JFoo Show is back. Every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, I'll be playing you fantastic tunes from the JFoo theme of the week to get your Sunday fun day off and rolling and make you feel good. So tune in to the JFoo Show every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Blaze Radio, streaming exclusively at blazeradioonline.com.
Do you ever wonder what the backstory is behind some of your favorite songs? Where do artists get their inspiration from? Hi, my name is Nicola Hendro.
And I'm Brooklyn Cohen, and welcome to Inspired. On Inspired, we will be sharing some of the fun facts behind the iconic songs you know and love.
Tune into Inspired on Blaze Radio at blazeradioonline.com every Monday at 10 a.m. Arizona time as we break down the inspiration behind the iconic lyrics.
Get inspired!
Hey guys, we're Liv and Maddie.
And this is our specialty show, Out of Tune, on Blaze Radio.
If you listen to music, we like to talk about it. Tune in for live concert coverage and ticket giveaways.
On Mondays at 2:30 to 3.
Tune in!
We were just a couple of posers with guitars. They were always out of tune.
Do you like Philadelphia sports?
Do you think Tanner McKee is the best third-string quarterback in the NFL?
Does Nate Gary bring up bad memories?
Is the Philly Fanatic the best mascot in sports?
Then you should tune in to Philly Out West on Blaze Radio, the show about all things Philly sports based in Phoenix.
Jack Hartsonis and Charlie Limoncelli cover all the details of Philadelphia sports every Thursday night at 8 p.m. MST.
That's Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, and all the latest Philly news and culture.
We're bringing Philly to the desert.
The rise and fall of the Persian Empire, the history of shoelaces, the anatomy of a jellyfish, the difference between Portuguese and Portugal and Brazil. Have you ever wanted to take a deep dive on a topic like one of these, but just couldn't find the time or the means to do so? Hi, I'm DJ King, and on my show The Depths of Knowledge, I do a deep dive on similar topics every Monday from 3:30 to 4. So if you want to know more about the world around you, come join me in exploring the depths.
Hey everyone, it's Alex Swift from Park the Bus.
And as we say now in my country, they brought the bus and they left the bus in front of the goal.
If you want to stay updated with the world of soccer or hear 3 Arsenal fans tell you why we're better than Spurs,
but Tottenham, it's the history of the Tottenham.
Come check out Park the Bus with me, Alex Swift, Alexander McDonald, and Bob Blue, Tuesdays, 9 to 10 a.m. at blazeradioonline.com.
All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers!
Race to blazeradioonline.com every Tuesday at 9:30 Arizona time for an hour of motorsports madness.
Join myself, Andrew Hazlett, and my co-host Ethan Ignatowski for the Loose Wheel Show. We'll tell you everything you need to know for the upcoming race week.
From news to predictions, we have you covered, so make sure to tune in.
Tyler Bednar, wake up. What time is it? It's bedtime. Okay, then why are you waking me up? No, it's time for It's Bedtime. It's a specialty show on Blaze Radio. That sounds cool. When does it air and what do you talk about? The show takes place every Wednesday from 11 to 11:30 p.m. I recap the past week of sports with special guests. That sounds awesome, Tyler. I'm going to start tuning in on blazeradioonline.com.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hate this project.
The James are playing here at CPKC Stadium in Kansas City. The second semifinal of the Big 12 Soccer Championships presented by Sprouts Farmers Market. The vibes are high. It's Kansas 1, Texas Tech 0, as the underdog Jayhawks look to book a date with the number 1 TCU Horned Frogs for the championship on Saturday. Back here in the booth, Mahirson Hassan with Joao Lara. Glad that you could tune in on this Wednesday evening. A cool Wednesday evening, temperatures below 60 degrees as we finish off our nightcap, currently 8:23 p.m. here in Central Time. Joao, we talked about this before. This is a Kansas team that has a lot of energy. They bring the vibes wherever they go. We saw it in Tempe, and we saw it in the first few rounds of this tournament. Now they're trying to build that, but they're also trying to keep a lead how do they do that and get to the final?
Really, by keeping the lead, you maintain the pressure that you're setting down. In this first half, Kansas has been great with pressure. They've been recovering the ball high up the pitch, and that's going to allow them for opportunity creation.
Brandon Knust with the goal in the 41st minute off a set piece. The ball was bouncing around. Knust stuck her peg out and put it in the back of the net. Her second goal of the season. She's been one of those players that has kind of popped in for a little while, no more than 20 minutes per appearance over the past 7 games, but she can make an impact. So can a lot of these Kansas players as they're warming up on the near touchline. Red tops, blue shorts, and red socks. It seems like Nate Lee is going to keep some of those players that did make an impact on the pitch for these opening minutes of the second half.
Yeah,
Knust, one of those players.
Yeah, and I mean, really, look, the biggest thing is if it's not broken, don't fix it. If you've had great continuity with the group of players that you have, it's because they're energetic. It's because they're doing things well. So I think that's very smart from Nate Lee, and especially taking on a head coach like Tom Stone. You know Tom Stone is not going to just sit and let things happen. At halftime, I'm sure he had a great halftime talk with his players. And I mean, look, 18 years doing this with Texas Tech, he knows the gist already. He knows what he needs to see out of his team. So really, it's interesting to see what Tom Stone does, but it's very smart from Nate Lee.
It definitely is, as we see Kansas getting ready to break the huddle. Texas Tech already out on the pitch. They'll be moving from left to right now. White tops, white shorts, white socks with the red lettering, numbering, and striping. Faith Wynn in goal for them. She was basically wearing a penny, basically the white top, white short, white socks combo, but with a penny. She originally came out, I believe, with a red uniform or something on the lines of that. Changed it last second because Kansas is wearing red, so you don't want to confuse the two. Now she's out in a green top, green short, green socks combo for the Red Raiders. Kansas sprawled out, once again lining up in the 3-5-2 as they've done this season. Texas Tech getting set as well. They've been running a 4-3-3. Players stretched out all across the pitch. Knust, the goal scorer, in the center circle right now for Kansas. 45 down, 45 to go on the banks of the Missouri River as we're back underway. Kansas controlling the ball early. Back towards the defensive third, played up by Asakante, down the line for Sage Wimes. Wimes trying to get control on the right wing, poked away by Molly Skursensky of Texas Tech. Wimes keeps it on the right. Skursensky able to shield it out, and it'll be out for an early corner kick for Kansas, not even 30 seconds into the second half.
And really, look, if you're Kansas here, you have to try to capitalize off this play. You're super close to Texas Tech territory. All you need is a good cross. And if Texas Tech can't clear like on that first goal, they're definitely going to be able to take advantage of this opportunity.
Caroline Castens on the far corner flag. Right hand to the air, left foot through the ball, glided forward. Wynn can't make the catch as it spilled out towards Merlot. Her shot went into the back of the net, but either way, a foul was called in the box. A free kick for Wynn in goal.
And really, that was one of those things that we're talking about once again. Merlot had that opportunity right there in front of goal. And I mean, if it wouldn't have been blown dead, who knows if Texas Tech, would have conceded on that opportunity.
Ball played down the line. Here's Lexi Watts down the left into the 18, going end line, cross sent in, and caught by Wynn. Nobody really in the area to challenge for the ball for Kansas. Faith Wynn, the graduate from Mater Dei High School out in California. What do you know about Mater Dei, Joao?
Mater Dei is a football powerhouse. They always have their run-ins with teams like DeSoto in Texas, and I mean they're just known for their football production.
Well, they also have a soccer grad currently starting for Texas Tech, down 1-0 with 43 minutes remaining in this second half.
And fun fact too, presented here by our third guy, Luke Lendler, a ball actually went to Mater Dei. So NBA player ball, Mater Dei product too.
Thrown down the line for Texas Tech. Bounced in towards the left half space. Controlled by Wimes momentarily, and space for the Red Raiders to work. Peyton Parsons plays it out towards the left. This is Elise Anderson surging down the left, in towards the left wing, towards the 18. Lets off a cross. It's bouncing around in the area. Sophie Dock can't get to it, as Michaela Merlot for Kansas just clears it away. An interesting possession. We didn't know if Daw was going to get full control of that ball. She didn't, and it goes out on the left. Throw and taken quickly by the Red Raiders and Peyton Parsons. Back out towards Anderson on that left wing, slides it over towards the top of the key. Feet on the ball right towards the top, and it's sent over. An interesting possession does not come towards fruition. I believe that was Kate Leibel with the shot for Texas Tech. 42 minutes remaining in the second half. It is still Kansas 1, Texas Tech 0.
And I mean, that last play was most interesting, at least for Texas Tech. I mean, Kansas, you don't see them, make those mistakes that often, especially in defense, and it almost paid off for the Red Raiders there. Super close.
Castens, near side, pip forward, looking towards Watts on the left wing. Watts going towards the end line, left-footed cross, can't find Wynn, actually went out of bounds in towards the post on that side netting.
And it's all about that creation. It's all about the creation. If they can keep on, making plays, even though they're not being as crucial, having those opportunities in attack is definitely going to help.
Wood out on the right, trying to get past Anderson, working her way towards the far touchline. Wood resets, trying to get towards the end line now. Cross battered off. Anderson with the last touch. Another corner kick for Kansas, much to the cheers of their bench on the other side of the pitch. So the corner will be taken on the far side. The bench is on the near side, right beneath us. CPKC Stadium, an 11,500 seat amphitheater, hosting the 2024 Big 12 Soccer Championships for the first time in its history. Caroline Castens drives this one into the box. Olivia Page with the shot, and it goes in! Number 2 for Kansas makes it 2-0 here with 40 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the second half.
And that's what they needed. That's what they needed me here. The offensive productivity, once again, at first it wasn't happening, but at the same time, they've been super good on these set pieces this whole tournament, and it just paid off. Nice way to create space. Page gets off of Molly Sierkinski and just finds the top of that net.
Her first goal of the season for Kansas. It's a share the love day. You get a goal. You get a goal. Knust with her second of the year. Same with Page, or rather it's Page's second career goal overall. The first at Oklahoma on September 14th, 2023. Nearly 50 minutes through this match, and Kansas can smell a trip to the final.
And really unexpected from this Kansas side, but it's worked. I mean, they've been playing great offensive football, and then on defense, I mean, not even to mention just dominance on the defense here from Kansas.
Kate Langfelder bodied in the process. Ref says play on as Merlot plays it out towards the right for Wood. Wood drives this into the box off the bounce towards Wynn. Langfelder able to get up in the process. Shot was played, so play won't go back to the spot of the foul. As here comes Wynn in the ponytail with the white headband, punts it forward, back in towards Kansas territory, dribbled down as Asacante sends it back into the Red Raiders spot on the pitch.
And really, Texas Tech needs to find the wake-up call here. They need to find the way to play down the sides using Anderson and using Blackburn, because it's worked throughout the duration of this tournament, but they haven't had any offensive production in this game. They've had a couple of shots, but they haven't taken advantage of them.
Ball driven in towards the midfield, skipped off by Skrzynski, or rather that was Sherjeski, cleared away by Mackenzie Bovey of Kansas. Dribbled around Elise Anderson of Texas Tech. Can't find another white jersey like her. Caroline Castens drives it forward for the Jayhawks. Bounced off by Lexi Watts out near side in front of the Kansas bench for a Texas Tech throw-in. 38:45 remaining in the second half. Kansas up 2-0 against Texas Tech as Tom Stone and crew will make another change. Peyton Annan now in the match as Kate Leibel checks out.
And they need something. They need something now, Mahir. If they're gonna start, trying to set a comeback, it has to start now. Too late is not gonna work. I mean, we've seen it multiple times this tournament, even against Baylor.
Out towards the left-hand side, this is Peyton Parsons, and a 1-on-2, leaves it off towards Anderson, cut in towards the 18, and out by Mackenzie Bovey. Reset at the top of the key for Skursensky, now to the right half space for Caitlin Giametta. That's poked away by the Jayhawks. The ball travels further back, but it's still in Kansas territory, and back with the Red Raiders. A fight on the right-hand side, one back by Watts. She tried to clear it up the pitch, but it's intervened by Texas Tech. That's Skursensky. And it's a throw-in for Kansas, right down the line, off the chest of Wimes, and poked away back towards the Red Raiders.
And really what Texas Tech has been facing, it's been very similar to BYU. They hold on to the ball too long. They've been impatient in play, and that's really hindered their attack.
Skip forward, Macy Blackburn, the Big 12 Defender of the Year. She's been quiet today as she loses the ball in the middle of the pitch. Ball sent back all the way towards Wynn in the left half space, 25 yards away from her goal. Gets it to Martinez. Now it's back towards Wynn. She's been pressured a lot today, Faith Wynn. 2 saves on the day, but also allowing 2 goals in the process as she gives it up towards Kansas. Here come the Jayhawks working on the right. Watts trying to get past her defender. It's knocked away. Parsons played in towards the center circle. Giametta. Skursensky. Ball bouncing around. Molly Skursensky, she's a center back, but she's going forward here. Space to work down the left half space. Into the attacking third. Played out towards the left. Skursensky again. Saved by Daw. Not the best contact by the center back, and Sophie Daw just a light dive towards her left. 36-29 remaining in the second half. Kansas still leads 2-0.
That's what you need, and that's what Texas Tech needed. They needed an attack. They needed to start showing something. And, I mean, if the center back has to go up and attack, so be it. But as long as they're trying to create something, as long as they're, doing something to get themselves back in the game, they have a chance.
Out on the right-hand side, Texas Tech still pressuring. They need 2 goals soon to have a chance and to keep their Big 12 tournament hopes alive. Sage Wimes has other plans. She's crossed the center half. 2-on-4 for Kansas as she plays it off towards Watts. Watts, left-hand side, into the 18. Watts, it's poked away by Taylor. Out towards the top for Knust. Knust feeding on Anderson. Knust with a shot. And that one saved by Wynn, diving towards her right. Raina Knust echoing for her second goal of the day. She couldn't get it there.
Still, intelligent shot selection there from Knust, because Knust, she knew if she hit it hard enough, it was going to bounce off of Wen, and Lexi Watts was going to be there just to poke it in just in case.
Open game so far as we approach the 10-minute mark here from CPKC Stadium. Kansas against Texas Tech. Number 6 Kansas up 2-0 right now against number 2 from the Red Raiders. Texas Tech, boy, they've been good in the Big 12. Second this season. First overall last year, and yet they have never had an appearance in the Big 12 championship. As it stands right now, that will continue for them. For Kansas, if they hold on, they play TCU on Saturday. Number 1 TCU, at times ranked number 10 in the nation. They win that game, they're on to the NCAA tournament. They steal a bid. And they also win the Big 12 championship for the first time since 2019. Free kick for Kansas. Raina Knust is back to the bench. Lexi Watts earns the set piece for the Jayhawks. Caroline Castens to take it near side for the team wearing red and blue today.
For Kansas to become, a Big 12 champion in the City of Champions, I mean, Kansas has a major following here. It'd be something phenomenal.
Foul called in the box. Wimes tumbles alongside Grigorski, just plowing through the Texas Tech defenders. Anderson, one of them. The other one still on the pitch right now and now helped up. Players have been going all over the pitch today for both sides. 33:50 remaining into the second half. Kansas with 8 shots, Texas Tech with 8 shots. Jayhawks with 5 shots on goal. Red Raiders right behind with 4. But it's the 2 goals that make all the difference as bodies now tumble in the center circle with Kate Langfelder. And now possession goes back to Kansas, a free kick for them right on the center line. Joao, if you're Texas Tech, you need 2 goals right now to save your season, to send this to extra time. What are you doing right now?
Really, you're trying to filter your play down the middle using Peyton Parsons. Parsons has been the most accurate player they've had in this whole entire game. She's been up and down, but you need to filter the play through her. She's playing that sort of that Rodri / Bruno Fernandes type play where she's coming back and defend when she needs it. But when it's time to go up, she's going to give you a good ball and she's going to create opportunities for you.
Langfelder in the white headband earns a free kick for Kansas right in front of their bench. You got the bench area, the technical area, and then you have a bunch of subs currently warming up. Sandwiched in between them, in the field of play, another free kick for the Jayhawks. They're going to part the sea to try to really drive at this Texas Tech side. Mackenzie Bovey, one of the center backs, going up to take this. She's backing out beyond the touchline. Left hand to the air, right foot through the ball. In swinger, high into the box. It's headed up, still flying forwards, and it's going to be a corner kick for Kansas, deflected out by Texas Tech. Michaela Merlo with the chance. Kansas was calling for a penalty there, but they're not going to get it.
Look, Texas Tech needs to prepare something here. They need to, try to hit the counterattack. Kansas has a lot of players inside the box, and they don't have anyone back. So they really need to, set something off and try to get the goal.
Caston's right-hand side, right-footed ball. That's her weak foot, hurtling towards the back post. Page knocks it down. It's still bouncing around the 6 as Ashley Williams clears it away for Texas Tech. Bovey redirects it back on the left. Gregorski trying to get past Blackburn to get to the ball. She won't. A goal kick now for Faith Wynn. 31-30. 31 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the second half. Kansas up 2-0 on Texas Tech here in the second Big 12 semifinal. The winner takes on TCU on Saturday. Kickoff for that one expected around 7 p.m. Central Time. Throwing for the Red Raiders. White tops, white shorts, white socks for them. Down the line by Blackburn. Chested down by Page. She sends it back. And it's essentially a take 2 for Blackburn and the Red Raiders.
Once again, Texas Tech being impatient on the ball. They're not using the space that they have, and they're not, they're trying to force passes, and it's not working out. They need to, take a moment, collect themselves, take a breath, and just, try to start over again, because this is getting a little bit out of hand for them.
You make a good point, Joao, because there was a first in the matchup against Baylor on Saturday for Texas Tech. The first was, it was their first come-from-behind win of the season. Baylor scored first in the opening first 10 minutes as this ball sent in and caught by Wynn just beyond Jillian Gregorski pressuring for Kansas. Baylor scored the first goal in that game within the first 10 minutes or so, and then Texas Tech really pressured towards the end of the first half, and they were able to get 2 goals. No goals in the second half. They won, and they're here in the semifinals. That was their first come-from-behind victory of the season. And granted, they've done pretty well this season. 13 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws. Second in the Big 12. Came in basically going neck and neck with TCU for that number 1 spot. They fell on the final day with a loss to BYU, who went out to TCU earlier today. This is a stellar team. It's not showing on the score sheet right now. Less than 30 minutes to go. Elise Anderson down the left for the Red Raiders. She'll have to stop, plays it off towards Jillian Martinez, and out towards the center again for Molly Skursensky. Center back playing more like a center defensive midfielder right now as Cassie Taylor, another center back, sends it out towards Blackburn. She's got space on the right, dancing around towards the end line, cross in, bouncing around back post. Nobody for Texas Tech able to get to it. Sakante just sends it out, and it's a corner for the Red Raiders. Energy like that, Joao.
That's what they need, and I know I've mentioned it a lot for at least Kansas and for Texas Tech too. It's all about the creation. You start getting creation, something has to pop up. Something.
Corner taken, far side, driven into the box, punched away by Daw. Out towards that right-hand side. Parsons, who took the corner kick, trying to race for it. It's won by Lexi Watts of Kansas. Can the Jayhawks put a nail into the coffin here with 28-29 remaining in the second half? Conte patrolling forward. That one sprawled away by Taylor Sherjeski, the center forward, going the other way. And now the referee will give possession towards Kansas. Change made. Jocelyn Harima back into the match for Sage Wimes. Wimes the only player right now for Kansas actually wearing long sleeves out on the pitch. I don't blame her. It's a rather coolish day in Kansas City. Cooler than the other 2 days we've seen here at CPKC Stadium. Around 75 degrees during the daytime on Wednesday. It was down to about 65, 70 for Saturday. Today, a rather coolish one on the banks of the Missouri River. Temperatures right now sitting below 50 degrees, currently 48 right now, according to the Weather Channel. Near side, Watts, Castens, bounced towards the left half space, intercepted. That was Peyton Annan in defense. Skrsenski played out towards Anderson again. Anderson against Hammondtree, soft coverage, played down the line. Texas Tech still looking for that perfect chance. 27-13, still down 2-0. Taylor, Skrsenski, center circle, played out towards Anderson. Anderson, she's got a runner in Parsons. She has space on the left. She cuts around, still trying to find that angle to cut it around. Backhills it over towards Anderson. Left-footed cross in, looking towards the back post. Can't find Williams as Blackburn looks to reset on the right wing near side. Blackburn sent in, not the best cross, still bouncing around. Top of the key, Martinez looks to control through the referee's legs, left half space, shot whistled right towards Williams. Williams with a chance, and it's in! No offside, no flag up, and Ashley Williams reads the run perfectly and tucks it into the back of the net, left-footed into the lower right corner. With 26 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the second half, she goes to celebrate with her benches. High fives down the line. Kansas 2, Texas Tech 1.
And such an intuitive run from Williams, but also great play from Martinez there. She sends the defender the other way with the feint. That gives time to let off a pass, and as soon as Williams recognizes that she's right in the path to receive the ball, she adjusts her run, takes a touch, and just slots it right past goalkeeper. Great goal from Texas Tech. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a game. We have a game. Let's see what happens here.
One of the most cliched things in the game of soccer. 2-0 is the toughest lead to hold, and now the referee will go towards the VAR marker. He had the same idea we were having up here in the booth, Joao. It seemed like Williams, in the moment she was offside. The question was that ball deflected, or was she offside when that pass was played? He'll go over towards the monitor right now. Our official for today, Brandon Gardner, your referee, Cade Wozniak, his assistant, Josh Mills, another assistant, Kyle Armstrong, the fourth official on the near touchline. Purple long sleeve top, black shorts, black socks for our referee today. A quick check by Brandon Gardner. He's out of the VAR tent, and it's a goal for Texas Tech. The call stands on the pitch. Game on here at CPKC Stadium as the fans in red on the far side of the pitch, the right-hand side from our angle, they're cheering right now. Kansas has brought a lot of fans, a lot of support. They made their way down the I-70 from Lawrence to Kansas City. We've got a good one in the heartland. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Now, you mentioned we had the predictions before the game. This was definitely not my prediction. I thought Texas Tech was going to have a resounding win. You said this game might go to overtime. Do you think the possibility of overtime is still here, especially with 26 minutes left?
I still think so. The only thing I will say against that is the fact that Kansas, going into this matchup, has only allowed 2 goals in their past 6 games. They've outscored opponents 13-2. Both goals coming against Arizona State, but I still think it's a possibility. There's still a lot left to be played. Caitlin Giametta goes to the bench for Texas Tech. Lauren Wood goes to the bench for Kansas. down the line for the Jayhawks. They're looking for insurance. They thought they had insurance courtesy of Olivia Page, but it was denied anyway. 25 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the second half. Down, picked away by Taylor, deflected off by Hammondtree, or rather there was Harima, and a throw-in for Texas Tech deep in their defensive third. Mahirson Hassan, Joao Lara back with you from CPKC Stadium. You're listening to the Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Soccer Championships on Blaze Radio and the Blaze Sports YouTube page. Kansas was up 2-0 early, got a goal courtesy of Raina Knust just 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes before halftime. Olivia Page responded 4 minutes and 24 seconds out of the break. A 2-0 lead for Kansas. One goal already erased, courtesy of Ashley Williams just moments ago in the 64th minute. Now, technically speaking, in the 66th, going on 67th minute, can Texas Tech have an option? Again, a countdown clock here at CPKC Stadium. So you kind of have to do the math in your head. As here comes Blackburn down the right-hand side, whipped into the box, bounced down, still in the area with Felstad. Daw still has to control it. Felstad basically has to almost do a splits, if you will, or kind of going towards the splits to make sure her goalkeeper can get to the ball. She does. Sophie Daw getting in on some action in this one. Daw actually related to James Naismith, the founder of basketball, and a fun fact about James Naismith. His 163rd birthday is today. So a happy birthday to the founder of basketball. Kansas very big at basketball. They love their basketball out in Lawrence. Kansas men's team currently ranked number 1. Their women's team in action tonight against Lindenwood. Their soccer team currently up 2-1 with 23 minutes and 42 seconds against Texas Tech. The Red Raiders now have a free kick. Right half space, edge of the attacking third. Macy Blackburn currently standing over it. Got some white socks, got a black knee brace on her right leg. A few paces back, one woman wall for Kansas, it's Lexi Watts. Players lined up at the edge of the 18 on the far side back post. Blackburn lifts this one into the box, headed away by Grigorski at the edge. Martinez tries to get a touch to it, and it's cleared away by the Jayhawks. Skips all the way back into Red Raider territory with Anderson. Anderson looking to reset with the right foot boot over the heads of some of the players, and it's still knocked around on the near side. Played out. Skrusensky working her way towards the center, knocked away. Langfelder wins it back. Here comes Watts off the turn, past the center line for the Jayhawks. Working her way down the line in the left. Still space to work. Numbers around her. Lexi Watts lets off a shot, and it just sails wide right. Not troubling Faith Wynn in goal quite yet. Still 2-1 in favor of Kansas. Another change made is Sophie Nickel, the defender turned forward, comes in for Watts. As Watts, who scored the winner against West Virginia, will get a breather on the bench.
And really what has made Sophie Nickel so essential for this Kansas University side has just been the way her aggressiveness. Her aggressiveness has allowed Kansas to recover the ball high up the field. And really, she's been crucial for this Kansas side in this Big 12 tournament.
Elise Anderson again. On the left, space to work. She'll take the cut inside, out towards the left touchline again. Far side for Parsons, sliding tackle by Bovey as the ball goes straight up towards Conte. She clears it away. Nickel gives chase. Taylor able to get to it for Texas Tech. Back towards the left half space, now towards the right for Blackburn. Past the center line again for the Red Raiders. Can they find an equalizer before 000 sound at CPKC Stadium? And Olivia Page is going to be booked. Yellow card on her as she sent Taylor Skrzyjewski to the ground.
Honestly, not a bad one. And yeah, a professional foul, and I think it was necessary. If not Skrzyjewski, she basically takes the I-70 and gets all the way to Lawrence. I mean, that's how open the field was. Should be an interesting opportunity here for Texas Tech.
Blackburn once again with the free kick, right half space, still roughly 30 yards away, maybe 35 She's shoving her players towards the far side as Blackburn will send it that way towards the box. It's still bouncing around, controlled momentarily at the edge. Player goes down. A shot brought in by Parsons. It's a goal kick for Texas Tech. Brandon Gardner was shoving his hands over towards the side to say, no, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. It was kind of towards the edge of the 18, so it could have been a free kick as well. Nonetheless, 21 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the second half. Play clock stopped right now for whatever reason. Kansas trying to hold on, a 2-1 lead. A win, and they face number 1 TCU on Saturday. The last time Kansas was in the final, it was 2019. The last time Kansas City hosted the Big 12 soccer tournament, they ended out champions. Texas Tech trying to shield off the Jayhawks, going down into the attacking third. That's good work with Taylor shielding off Harima as Taylor pips it forward. Bovey sends it right back, flying down that left wing. Throwing for Blackburn, inner defensive third on the right-hand side. Whistle blows as Gardner will now head towards the near touchline. I think he wants to have a chat with his fourth official right now, Kyle Armstrong. And Armstrong, he was talking with one of the production coordinators down there. So I think it has a lot to do with the clock. So after Wynn had that goal kick, the clock was never restarted. So now some time will be taken off. It is now 20 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in the second half. Texas Tech searching for the equalizer. Their season, for the most part, is not over after tonight, even if they do lose. They are still ranked in the top 25 with multiple polls as we see Kansas make a few changes. Shay Ryan into the match for the first time today. Amika Kalgish also in as well. Harima heads towards the bench. Another change as well as Merlot will get some minutes to regroup. Towards Sophia Nickel. Nickel, ball bouncing around the 18, cleared away by Texas Tech. Kansas trying to put the finishing touches. Wednesday, November 6th, Sophia Nickel with a shot, dribbling around. Faith Wynn slides over to try to keep it in play. It took a deflection, so it's based off a corner kick. Kansas wanted it. The referee won't give it. Another chance for Wynn as she boots this high into the night air here in Kansas City. Headed down, ball bouncing around towards the right. Castens with the header. Back towards Texas Tech territory. Blackburn regroups. Kalgish shields her out on the near touchline. A throw-in for the Jayhawks. Right in front of Tom Stone and the coach's area. And now Brandon Gardner will have an issue towards the Texas Tech bench. A yellow card issued, I believe, towards either one of the players or towards Tom Stone. Not entirely sure yet. He's still standing around. A chat with his assistant referee, Kate Wozniak, on that side. And now it's a full conversation with the head coach of Texas Tech's Tom Stone.
You need to keep your head. If you're Tom Stone, you need to stay composed because, I mean, if you're yelling at the referee, that sort of sets an example to your players, and that's not the feeling you want to have right now. If you're 19 minutes, 39 seconds out from this game being over, from your Big 12 tournament aspirations being over, you need to stay calm. Take a breather.
Throwing down, headed into the air. Ball bouncing around. Kansas able to pick it up. Edge of the attacking third, out towards Felstad on the right. Felstad with Parsons nearby finds Kalgish. Greengrass ahead of her in the midfield. Glides it out towards Castens on the left wing. Castens whips it into the box. Bodies are flying. No whistles blown quite yet as it was Ryan and Grigorski who went down. Might have gotten tangled with each other as here comes Texas Tech on the other side. 19 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the second half. Skrsenski plays it towards the attacking third. Sherjeski tried to get around a defender. Bovey says no way as she boots it back into Texas Tech territory. Towards the Red Raider netminder, Faith Wynn, inner 18, near the penalty spot. Bounced around. She tried to get Anderson. A throw-in towards Kansas. As the mistakes pile up for the Red Raiders, the cheers pile up for Kansas.
They're in their heads. They're in their heads, and they They need to calm down here a bit. I mean, I've been mentioning it for the duration of this second half, but I mean, I understand that the odds are in your favor and that, you know, the crowd is definitely not cheering for you, but take a second, calm down, especially if you're win. I mean, it's going to affect your decision making, and it's so important whenever you're a goalkeeper.
Brianna Knust wins it back for Kansas. She just checked into the game for Jillian Grigorski. Kawagish out towards Castens, left wing against Blackburn. Blackburn blocks it away. That's the Defender of the Year. She's the Big 12 Defender of the Year for a reason. But here comes Texas Tech in towards the middle part of the pitch again, in their own half. Sliding tackle by Kawagish, and she'll be issued for the free kick.
Immense pressure there from Kansas, and it's working. It's working, and I feel like those fresh legs, you know, they've played a great factor here.
Picked off by Ryan. Cheers once again from Kansas. She pips it in towards Nickel. Heavy first touch, rolling towards her right into the 18. Taylor able to pick it away comfortably. Tries to clear it. Knocked out by Nickel on the far end line. And a goal kick for win. 17:25 remaining in the second half. A change made for Texas Tech as Caitlin Giametta returns to the game. Peyton Parsons will head towards the sideline.
Caitlin Giametta should help with the fluidity of Texas Tech play in the middle. Let's see if she can thread a ball through and possibly change this game for Texas Tech.
Wynn drives it forward. Bounce it around. Langfelder towards the right for Blackburn. Blackburn, head up pitch, sends it forward. Bovey nods it back. Chested down by Sherjeski, trying to make her way around Knust. Bodies her from behind. And another free kick coming up for Kansas. 2-1 in favor of 6th seed Kansas. They came into the semifinal as the only team to pull an upset. They're trying to pull another upset over number 2 Texas Tech to make it to the final against top-seeded TCU, the Big 12's best chance to win the NCAA tournament in December. 16 minutes and 22 seconds remaining. Kansas currently up 2-1 and back in the attacking third, trying to reset in Texas Tech's half. Out towards Castens on the left. Castens, space to work, try to find Ryan. Ryan trying to make a cut inside. Castens trying to play it outside. Miscommunication leads to a goal kick for Texas Tech.
And really, that's the beauty of the Big 12 tournament. I mean, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what positions you're in or who's on the field. I mean, if you've studied your Bible enough, anybody can pull a result, and I mean, we're seeing it here right now.
So Nichols off. It's going to be Harima on for Kansas. Boy, she's gotten a lot of minutes today so far. A player that played in the first 8 games, missed the next 7, and played in the last 5, had 21 minutes against West Virginia. She's got 24 tonight, and we still have 15 minutes to go, folks. Blackburn free kick in Texas Tech's half. Towards the center circle for Taylor. Back out towards Blackburn. Still trying to retreat. Texas Tech needs an equalizer soon to keep its Big 12 tournament and title hopes alive. One back again by the Jayhawks. Shay Ryan down the left. Ryan still dancing with the ball. Working into the middle. A shot cut off from roughly 20 yards away. Not much of a problem for Wynn. It will go on target. The 6th shot on target for Kansas. Nothing much to get the insurance goal right there. Maybe a response for the Red Raiders the other side. Anderson played it through. Felstad knocked it away. And a throw-in now for the Red Raiders. You talked about it before, Joao. You expected Texas Tech to win this game. I expected Texas Tech to play it close as the ball's driven in right towards the middle. And it's just skied over. What a chance. The ball bouncing around roughly 10 yards away, and Molly Skrzynski just couldn't find the right touch to challenge Sophie Daw. It skies over into the Casey Curran supporter section. What a miss for Texas Tech. 14-19 remaining in the second half. It's still 2-1 Kansas.
It's too early to call, but that could have been it. That could have been it. She was right in front of goal. I don't know, the replay's right here. I think she took the shot at the right time. It was just the direction. 14 minutes are still left to play in the second half. Maybe there's more to come, but that could have been it to tie the game.
Page. Left-footed ball off of the back of Skrzynski. Bodies flying on that right side, and a free kick earned for the Jayhawks. It was Alana Harry going down, one of the substitutes for the Red Raiders. It's now a free kick. Once again, it's Maisie Blackburn territory on the right wing. Not exactly half space area, more right wing area this time, but almost parallel to the 18-yard box. 10 shots for Kansas, 11 shots for Texas Tech. Jayhawks with more on target, though, 6 compared to 5. And yet the Red Raiders trail. They need a goal quick. Blackburn a few paces off. One-woman wall for Kansas. Whistle blows. Blackburn whips this in with the right boot. Still dribbling. Back post! Going towards the other side to track Daw off, but it sails over in towards the top netting, out of play. It's close. It's close, Joao.
Time is dying down, and Texas Tech is growing a little, and if you're Kansas, you can't allow that to happen.
So changes made. Sage Wimes, Jillian Gregorski, and Michaela Merlo back in the game for the Jayhawks. Emika Kalgish, Raina Knust, and Jocelyn Harima head towards the bench.
And you just have to, if you're pressing, you have to make sure you're coming back. That's the whole point of the press. Kansas is still maintaining that press, but their wingbacks aren't as effective as they were before. So they have to find a way, to still maintain that high press, but come back on defense, because they've sort of lost that a little bit. They've become less efficient on defense.
Langfelder, half space. Just one back by Kansas. Castens now on the left. Space to work. Wimes checks in. Edge of the attacking third, shoved away, cleared away by Texas Tech. Conte, Castens, ball headed down. Gregorski, or rather Nickel, can't keep it in play. A throw-in now for Macy Blackburn and Texas Tech. The Red Raiders and the Jayhawks. First time they meet this season. One of the few teams that did not have a matchup against the Jayhawks going into this tournament. Same goes for the Red Raiders. Nate Lee talking about this being a challenge, but he said we tend to play better against teams that we have not seen in the regular season because, hey, it's a new challenge. We haven't seen them before. Blackburn, right side, Harry trying to break away, gets away from Langfelder, can't do so from another Jayhawk. Only as far as Taylor. She's pressing. Cassie Taylor with a shot. Blocked up into the air. Trapped down left half space. 25 yards away. Can Texas Tech reset? It's out with Blackburn. She's cutting inside. Try to play a left-footed ball over towards Harry. Miscommunication for the Red Raiders. It's scooped up by Daw. 12 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the second half. Kansas 2, Texas Tech 1.
And really, Texas Tech is starting to touch the ball a lot better. Let's see if it's enough. Once again, there's been a lot of stories this tournament of too little, too little, too late. They've done too little, and really they try to, come up with something, but it's too late. Let's see if Texas Tech is another one of those stories, or let's see if they can, come back and possibly find something here.
Blackburn, Nickel able to track back and win it for Kansas. Left-hand side, Castens, inner defensive third, glides it forward and back towards Texas Tech's back line. To the left back, Elise Anderson in the left half space. Played it around towards Giametta, who is tracking back from her forward position. Gregorski, now Bovey. She boots it back again towards Texas Tech's back line. Kansas just trying to survive in these last few minutes, trying to see this one out to a victory. Glided forward. Bovey, another head into the center part of the pitch. Gregorski flicks it back, brought down by Skrusensky. Another nutbag past Grandin Garden, our referee for today. Anderson, space to work on the left. Left-footed cross into the box, headed away by Page. Only as far as Texas Tech on the other side, deflected into the left half space. It will be a corner kick for the Red Raiders. I believe that was Giametta on the reset, as here come changes for both sides. Lexi Watts and Lauren Wood return to the match. Sophie Nickel will head off along with Jordan Felstad. So starters returning to the pitch for Nate Lee. Peyton Parsons will return for Texas Tech. Speaking of starters,
what that really means for Kansas, they're still trying to attack. You have your original starters back up on the field, and really, this is a very attacking side. So I wouldn't be surprised, if they try to hit those wings on an already tired Texas Tech defense.
Blackburn, far corner flag, lifts this one into the box, headed down by Wood. Kansas trying to trap it. It was Watts, gives it off towards Giametta, dancing around. Caitlin Giametta shot deflected at the top of the key. Another boot away by the Jayhawks. Texas Tech trying to control it right side with Harry. It was knocked away. A throw-in coming for the Red Raiders. Harry knocks it down. Can't flick it off towards Sherjeski. Another clear away. Cycle after cycle after cycle. 10:08 remaining in the second half. Down the line, Anderson trying to work. Plays it off towards the center. Now towards the right for Parsons. Parsons flicks it off towards the left. Looking for options. Ball played through. Cleared away by Castens. And now towards Watts. Trying to break through in the midfield. Dashing out towards the left. Parsons retreats and plays it back towards Texas Tech.
Time is running out right here. Time is running out. Texas Tech has been showing something, but they have to stop making mistakes like the one they just did. You have time, you have space, calm it. I sound like a broken record, but calm your play.
Play clock stopped right now with 9 minutes and 28 seconds remaining. And now a throw-in will ensue. Castens down the line looking towards Wimes. Back to goal. Back to Taylor. She lost track of the ball on the near side. In front of Kansas's bench and Nate Lee, their head coach, a throw-in for Texas Tech. Brought down. Merlot knocked around. Harry able to win it back. Collides with Langfelder. She goes to ground. Here comes Williams and the Red Raiders. Parallel to the 18. Harry lifts it into the box. Giametta can't bring it down. It goes out to the top. That's blocked away. It goes to Parsons. And her shot skies into the KC Current supporter section. Might have gone out through one of the entrances. Nearly went out. One of the security guards there able to track it down. Tick, 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 tick. The Big 12 semifinals might be decided in the next few minutes.
Unless if they want to extend it. Maybe Kansas looking at their second game with overtime. I mean, we can't rule it out. Especially with the way that things have been going for Texas Tech, you can't rule that out.
Texas Tech trailing 2-1, looking for an equalizer. Team at times ranked number 17 in the nation, so they're expected to go to the NCAA tournament. Will they host games? I don't know. It depends on RPI. That's a different story. More importantly, can they make it to their first Big 12 championship in franchise history? They have a lot of work to do. Here comes Elise Anderson, left half space, lifted to the box, headed down by Page, pipped up again by Conte. That's still in the danger zone for Kansas as the moon ball knocks it a little bit more towards safety. Parsons on the right, 25 away for Texas Tech, slides it forward, can't find Harry, and it's knocked away by Kansas and Michaela Merlot.
I understand you're trying to be intuitive with the ball and not cede possession that easily, let Texas Tech start from the back. But if you have to clear that ball, if you have to, send it out of bounds or send it somewhere else, do it. Because when Texas Tech has the ball on your side, it's dangerous, and you don't want to set yourself up in a position where you get scored on, especially with 7 minutes left.
Harry off, Peyton Dias on for the Red Raiders. Out towards Anderson on the left. It's all Texas Tech. Still strumbling around the box. Towards the top of the key. And now out towards Dias on the right. Edge of the 18. Now inside of it. Trying to get past a Kansas defender. She brings her down, and it's a free kick for Kansas. Tom Stone is livid on the near side bench, along with his players. A good run by Dias. Just an absolute body in the box.
Honestly, if I were Tom Stone too, I would honestly feel the exact same way. I think that was a legal physical play. She ended up using the arm/shoulder part of her body, and it was never extended. It was never, she never used that elbow, and honestly, I think that was a bad call there in the box.
Ball slid towards the left side. Grigorski trying to break through. She goes down. Wimes taps it towards Watts. She plays it back. Merlot. Castens. Left wing. Space to work. 6:30 remaining in the second half. Kansas trying to put a cherry on top. At the very least, tie a bow on the Red Raiders. Deflected off by Castens. That was Dias trying to play a long ball. Dias with a throw-in will indeed send a long ball. It's bounced off of Page, and another throw-in for the Red Raiders. This time it's Williams to take, and she plays it back towards Dias. On the right wing, Dias clipping it forward, knocked away by Conte, back towards the center circle, brought down by Annan, the left center back. Out towards the left for Anderson, and out towards Giametta on the left. Giametta trying to spin away from Langfelder and Kansas. She loses possession. It's back with Kansas. Now it's back with Texas Tech. That's been the story of the second half. Chances galore for Texas Tech, trying to equalize against the Jayhawks. They got one goal back already, courtesy of Ashley Williams. Can they get a second before time runs out? Skursenski plays it through. It's pipped off by Page. Bovey tries to keep it in play. She does, out towards Dias on the right wing. Clipped up in the area, pipped away by Grigorski. She's trying to argue it was last touched by Dias. It was a throw-in now for the Jayhawks.
And really, it's just Kansas is playing their defense to perfection. They're airtight right now. They really haven't let anything through besides that Williams goal earlier. Let's see if Texas Tech can do something differently to try to open up that Kansas defense. They need to. They're running out of time.
Anderson down the left-hand side. She has the assist to Williams' goal to the end line. Ball clipped in. Ball is spiraling around the top of the key. It's picked up by Kansas. Faith Wynn retreating back, and here comes Watts. The Kansas bench is roaring. They are all on their feet. A 2-on-2 for Watts. Now towards the 18. Lexi Watts with a shot, and she sends it high. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. The Jayhawks once again driving at Texas Tech. They're up 2-1. Red Raiders looking for an equalizer in the semifinal. Page cuts it away. Page with another cutaway before Taylor wins it back. Texas Tech, another reset. Been rather predictable at times, but they've found their opportunities, and they've tried to make the most of them in the process. Conte, ball pipped forward. She's giving chase to it. Faith Wynn, outside of her box, just has to clip it in towards the stands here at CPKC Stadium.
That whole play was a product of not using your weak foot. Anderson, or sorry if I'm getting this wrong, whoever was on that right back position, trying to turn around and use that right foot, instead use your left foot, you have your goalkeeper wide open. It doesn't make sense, especially at such a high level. I mean, you can't be giving up balls like that. You can't be ceding possession that easily. But what an effort by Asa Conte to go up and press and, disrupt that Texas Tech play in the back. Amazing.
Throwing for Castens. Popped down the line towards Wimes. Brought back again. Tried to play it back towards the corner for Wimes. Wearing number 4. 5 goals, 7 assists on the night, or rather in the season for her. Ball back with the Red Raiders. Ball played in towards the midfield. 3 minutes. 3 minutes remaining here from CPKC Stadium in this second half. Texas Tech needs a goal to force overtime. If we go to overtime, it's 2 10-minute periods separated by an intermission. The first team to score wins the match, and in this case is on to the championship to play TCU.
Super close. Will this deadlock be broken? I mean, right now it's looking like it's not. Texas Tech had control the last 10-15 minutes, but Kansas is just overpowering it on defense, and honestly, it's been absolutely phenomenal for the Jayhawks.
In the center again, Giametta trying to play it towards Szerzeski. Popped up in the air by Page. Tom Stone giving directions to his players to go long and go far. Throwing down the line, Szerzeski brings it down. Played towards Blackburn. Blackburn, left-footed cross from the right wing. Headed up in the air, brought down, booted high and away by Watts. That ball bouncing towards Wynn, who collects it far side of the pitch, roughly 30 yards away from her goal. Sent in again by Anderson. Play is opened up as Texas Tech searches for an equalizer. 1:37 remaining in the second half as Page clears it away. It's back in the midfield as Watts skies it back towards Wynn. Wynn just outside of her 18, brings it down with her feet. And it's sent again. Elise Anderson, the left back, an assist today, plays it over towards the starting right center back in Cassie Taylor. Out towards the right, Macy Blackburn, the Big 12 Defender of the Year, down against Kate Langfelder in the white headband. Clipped forward, knocked down again by Watts, and again by Kansas. Ball clipped away, last touched by Kansas. And it's a corner kick for Tech. Less than 1 minute remaining in the second half from CPKC Stadium. Blackburn going to take the corner kick. Numbers filing for Texas Tech. Almost every field player for Texas Tech relatively in the 18. Ball sent in, a header brought down, cleared out the line, still juggling in the area. How did that not go in the back of the net? Kansas remains strong. It's still in the 18. Taylor gives chase. Conte clears it away right in front of the blue shirts, the Blue Jackets on the far side. That's the Kansas faithful making the trip from Lawrence. Everybody's celebrating. 17 seconds remaining. A throw-in coming for Kansas. A team that came in with a new head coach for the first time in 25 years, dancing on their feet as the ball is played on the far side. It's a Texas Tech throw-in, and the historical season continues for the Jayhawks. Final score from Kansas City. The Jayhawks win this one 2-1. The 6 seed downs the number 2 seed Texas Tech, sends them back to Lubbock with the loss. Jubilation, elation, and a dream of an NCAA tournament bid is still on the line for the Midwest Princesses from Lawrence. What a game, Joao. What a game.
I am absolutely befuddled. And not by a scoreline. Just by the amount of emotion you see the players display on the field as soon as that whistle blows. The amount of fans are jumping up and down. I mean, it is amazing the support that Kansas has here. Now, talking about the game, Kansas defensively were solid, and that was thanks to that pressure. Their pressure allowed them to, the pressure allowed them to recover the ball high up, and they didn't have to worry about defending as much. Now, for Texas Tech, they had opportunities. They didn't take advantage of them. And it's heartbreaking, especially as you're going into number 2 in the Big 12 and number 17 and different places. And really, it's heartbreaking, but it's exciting to see how this Kansas side is going to be able to measure against the number 1 TCU squad, who is coming off of a 14-game unbeaten streak, has won 8 games in a row here. That stat line is just it's incredible. But nevertheless, Kansas played their tools to perfection. Their wingbacks were phenomenal in the wingbacks, and their wingbacks were a big reason why they were in this game offensively. And then when it came time to defend too, I mean, they were absolutely phenomenal. Just insanity here from CPKC. But honestly, very deserved for this gritty Kansas squad who, beat Arizona State in a commanding fashion. Who, despite all odds against West Virginia when they weren't, seen to win, when they were seen as just another lower seed, they go over to, they play in the rain, they win in the rain, and then finally you beat the number 2 Texas Tech squad. And what a journey it has been for Kansas in this Big 12 tournament.
A 2-1 win against Arizona State in the first round, a 1-0 win in double overtime against West Virginia, and now a 2-1 win against Texas Tech in the semifinals, a date, like Joao said, with top-seeded TCU, with one of the longest active winning streaks in the nation right now. But you have to think about Kansas, too. They came into this match winning the last 6 games. That's the 5th longest active win streak in the nation. That's now pushed to 7 after 90 minutes. Goals came around the halftime marker, bookended by both sides scoring right around the 5-minute mark. 5 minutes out, 5 minutes in. 41st minute, Raina Knust got it started for Kansas. The Jayhawks doubled their advantage in the 50th minute with Olivia Page. Off a corner kick from Caroline Castens, Ashley Williams and Texas Tech responded in the 64th minute. Elise Anderson with the assist on that one, but Texas Tech just could not find the equalizer. Jayhawks going crazy right now on the near side. They've punched their ticket towards the final. It's official. It's official on the bracket, and it's official on the score sheet. Your final score here from CPKC Stadium on the banks of the Missouri River in Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas 2, Texas Tech 1, and kind of sort of the de facto home team of this tournament, Joao, is on to the final. We talked about the crowd. The crowd's been amazing. It was the case last Wednesday. It was the case last Saturday, case today. You had a lot of fans just lined up, some of them not in seats, rightfully so. It is a rather cool day here in KC, but lined up on that far side, taking in the action. TCU came with a decent amount of fans. Again, Fort Worth, less than 8 hours away from here. What type of atmosphere are you expecting for the final?
It is going to be electric. I would not see why TCU fans wouldn't make the drive from Fort Worth up here, or even then a flight, etc. It is going to be absolutely electric. This is going to be the most filled we've seen these stands, especially with Lawrence being 45 minutes, especially with these Kansas fans. They're going to go home. They're going to tell their other friends and family that are Kansas fans, and they're going to be like, come on, let's go. $28 for a ticket to the final so we can see our Jayhawks possibly win it in Kansas City, a.k.a. dubbed by many people here as the City of Champions, as you've had the Royals, as you've had the Chiefs, and as you've had Sporting Kansas a good time ago win an MLS Cup. But regardless, it is going to be absolutely electric, and I'm excited to see what goes down on Saturday at 7 p.m. And I'm interested to see how the condition of the pitch is going to be too, especially with the Current playing their playoff match that day in the morning, 9-10 in the morning.
It's going to be interesting for sure. Kansas onto the final, their first final appearance coming up in just a few days, their first since 2019. The last time that happened, they won. Not only did they win, it was the last tournament that was held. That is the Big 12 tournament held here in Kansas City. That was at Sporting Kansas City's complex. Actually, it was Swope Park's complex. Swope Park, the USL, now MLS 2 team, if you will, of Sporting Kansas City, the MLS team, Sporting Kansas City. Here at the home of the NWSL's KC Current, Kansas is heading on to the final, trying to get some history and trying to keep their season alive and book an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. That does it here from Kansas City. For Joao Lara, I'm Mahir Sanhasan. We'll see you on Saturday for the Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Championship Final between number 6 Kansas and number 1 TCU. For now, so long, have a great night, and stay safe. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Sprouts Farmers Market Big 12 Championship on Blaze Radio.
I thought I released a good album until Naughty Step said it was bad.
I hear this project and I am frustrated.
I better listen to Blaze Radio.
Hi, I'm Pedro. Did you know you can listen to anything? Blaze Radio says you can, and so do I. I believe that until listened to, every song, album, EP, and DJ